Valley real estate. Uh, Homes for sale near Apple campus. NAR is in trouble. Nobody cares. California housing market forecast 2023, and how fast is the available home inventory climbing? Now, these are all news reports that are coming in across the country, not necessarily what's happening in Silicon Valley. And I'm here to show you the difference, because the difference is very important. Here we still have a lack of inventory and prices are maintaining for the most part. We'll go into that in a minute, but let's get into the news reports. First thing we're going to do is REWTF. Let's get this thing set up right. There we go. So years ago, when I was in the Marine Corps, we went to this place called Bridgeport, California, and this young PFC Lance Corporal decided to do something like this with a chili can. You can go to this REWTF, look at it. It's kind of funny. He wound up blowing up a chili can inside of our tent and blew up chili everywhere, including my clothes, whatever. I mean, that was years ago. Who cares? I wasn't pissed off. I was kind of laughing about it, but he was freaking out. Yeah, guys, you got to be careful. Okay, that's that. Next article. NAR is in trouble and nobody cares. NAR, National Association of Realtors, has been going through some tribulations. I talked about it yesterday. And the problem here is that they have been the second most powerful union in the United States for, 50, 60, 70 years. They make millions of dollars off the backs of real estate agents. They do provide some lobbying, making sure that our regulations stay in check, that we're protected a little bit. But here's the thing. They protect some that don't need to be or don't deserve to be protected. It's almost become a toothless tiger, where the whole purpose of protecting one's own instead of the consumer kind of avails itself into what? I don't know. I've had run-ins with horrible, unethical real estate agents. Whether they're realtors or not, totally irrelevant. They have done some really shady things, and when you go to push them through to get them into trouble, and yes, I've dropped dime, I've snitched on people, the associations tend to try to flatten it out so that everybody is okay. And at the demise and at the worsening of the consumer. Without going into any stories. So this other thing is that the president has been alleged to have sexual assault preyed upon other people within the association. And now they're going through a lawsuit about commission, and they're bending over. Redfin, Remax, and Coldwell Banker Century 21, Coracle Ring Group have all made it aware that they are not going to be renewing with them next year. I think this is a big awakening for unions all across. You can't just operate in a silo. You can't be part of, these are my people and I have to protect them, which they really don't with the NAR, but there's, the National NRA, and there's other unions that are coming down and striking for more wages, etc. But you have to understand the bigger picture. And I think NAR, I don't know, kind of feel like they've lost their touch as to what they're for. Have they helped the consumer? Not recently. Have they increased our prices? Yes. Have they done better for us as a whole? I don't know. I mean, they always ask for extra money for lobbying and for advertising. And that's optional. So I always say no. I've never given them money. But my MLSlistings.com requires that we are a part of that. And if they require me to do it next year, I might go to another reciprocating MLS so I can detach myself from the badge of realtor. The California Association of Realtors every year or every couple of years requires that we go through an ethics class, which I'm completely happy with. Again, the CAR is part of the toothless tiger problem, I think, as far as making sure that we hold to these standards of ethics or code of ethics. So anyway, there's another broker that lives in Jersey. He's calling for requiring that all local MLSs offer reciprocation without undue cost or without cost, and have our keys operate all across the state. Now, in Jersey, it's much smaller than California. I personally don't want to sell down in San Jose or LA, Orange County or wherever. I have no desire to go down there. Have I done it? Yeah. My mom and dad moved down to Signal Hill, and I went down there and helped them buy a house. But that was because I was trying to help them buy a house, make sure that they were protected. And they're a little sneakier down there too. So anyway, I think we're going to see a lot more upset with NAR before we see them survive, if they do survive. How fast is the available home inventory climbing? Again, well, I think we just saw almost 8% yesterday for interest rates, which that's going to stall the market, right? Oh, but back in the 70s, it went up to 16, 17%. That was when houses cost $100,000. We're talking about 10, 15 times more expensive houses. It's crazy. I can tell you, for example, that the market's not going to stall or stop tomorrow. I think what we're going to see is the market's going to slow down. I don't think we're still seeing houses sell across the nation. We're still going to see houses sell, but because people still need to move, they need to refinance. They need to relocate. They need to move to another place to be with their parents, or whatever reason they have to move. And that's really the crux of it. Now, that brings us back to a more balanced market, which is fair. The problem is we haven't in the last 2 decades, we haven't had the inventory to justify a balanced market. And a balanced market makes it fair and equitable for both sides. The last 2 decades, the last 3 years especially, has been massively favored for the buyer or the seller, and the seller has taken advantage of it. They've sold crappy houses, poorly maintained houses. They've gotten a premium price for it. They've gotten all sorts of incentives for them to sell their house at the behest of the buyer. And when you get caught up in the industry or the buying mode, you kind of get sucked into it. And 3 years ago, when we had the firestorm, people were throwing in $400,000 over list price. I don't know how they could afford it, but that was the norm. And here's the thing: I've been in good markets and I've been in bad markets, and I understand how things work for both sides. And I always try to make it fair and equitable. But when you hire me to sell your house, my job is to sell your house and make as much money for you with the best terms possible, because I'm a fiduciary. I owe a fiduciary duty to you. Inventory is tending to tick up in Santa Clara County. We'll go into that in a minute, but I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon. I haven't read this. I just saw this, and then I started. I thought we should look at this. But here we go. Price growth for all property continued upward trend. Now, these are just percentage trends, right? And we saw that dip, stopped in April. Now it's coming back up. We're definitely not here, right? 30, 40%. That's ridiculous. That was unattainable. And in 13, we saw that happen again. And again, we saw something happen like that, 2008 to 2009. Price of living is going up in every part of the world. I mean, every part of your world, right? From food, gas, milk, school, books, everything. Everything's getting more expensive. And that's just due to that inflation that we're dealing with. These numbers here where you see negatives is only because the inventory is lower. And we'll get into that really quick. CMAs, these are the last year's and this year's comparatives, and we'll go into that really quick. Really quick, fraud is on the rise. I have a link down below for you to take a look at it. Please do read this. If you have not seen it yet, take the time to read and be aware of what's going on if you're in the market to buy or sell a house. We'll get to this in a minute if I remember. Now, I missed last week because I was in Knoxville, but we went up just a tad bit. That tends to happen when rates go up. Houses tend to take a little bit longer to sell. As a matter of fact, it takes 14 days to sell instead of, well, actually, that we're still doing really well with that. REOs are still doing nominal. Yeah, San Jose, nothing major, right? I mean, inventory is still short-sighted here. Closes last week, we had 47. 47 closes last week, and that's when it was at 7%. So let's see what it looks like a month from now. Because a month from now is when we are going to realize how much the 8% interest rate versus the 7% interest rate will affect us. This is good, guys. Let me explain something to you a little bit real quick. When interest rates go up, the market slows down. It slows down. That means there's more inventory. Houses stand on the market a little bit longer, and sellers become a little more desperate. There's a certain percentage that will not bow to the price change, and they will take it off market, which I understand. But there's a certain few that want to sell, need to sell, just have to sell, right? I have a listing coming up that's it's a trustee sale, meaning the person passed. I'm dealing with the children, selling their house off. What's going to happen is incentives are going to start happening. We're going to start crediting for closing costs, crediting for points. We're going to start doing repairs, and it's normal to see that. So you're going to see deeper discounted houses based on the quality, location, and area and the market conditions. We're also going to see houses take longer to sell, and buyers are going to be able to take advantage of this. Now, are you going to be able to take advantage of this on a house that just listed yesterday or a couple of days ago? No, the seller's not in that mindset. The seller's still in the mindset is, let's see what the market's going to bear. Hopefully I can sell my house in 7 days. And there's a lot of houses that are selling in 7 days. Look at this. This is, let me take a look at this real quick. Bring this back. And then we'll look at this last week's CMA. This right here, these are the numbers you want to look at. There's still houses that are selling less than 7 days, right? There's a lot. A majority of them are selling a lot under 7 or 8 days. There's a lot of them that are taking a lot longer. But look, that's where when they take longer to sell, that's when you come in under price. So the strategy is find a house that's been on market a little bit longer. It's not going to be perfect, and you can ask for credits. That's the new way to buy houses. Last year we had 84 closes. This week we had 47. We're down about half, which is huge. And don't pay attention to this because that's not right. 2.79%. Ridiculous. Average list price is 1.7. Average sales price is still above 1.8. On the average, we're getting really close. On the average compared to last year, we're damn near close. Are we going to get to it? Probably not because of the 8%. So we're, what? That's this last month. We're actually still $55,000 away on average from last year. Median price is 1.4. List price to sales price ratio average is still 104. Last year we were seeing a 109, but this is when we saw the market slow down completely and we started seeing prices average down below 100%. So for the next year, you're going to see this number below 100%. Highs and lows. Yesterday, I think we saw one at 180, 191%. Crazy, right? Days on market is 14. Last year, this last week was 31. But again, you look at the averages, on average, because the market picked up again, we're at 15. 49 pendings, which is a far cry from what it was. The last couple of months, we're seeing 70, 60, about 70. We upped it up to, I saw 90 somewhere. 95. That was a good week, right? They dipped prices for a week. The demand is still there. People are just struggling to make that decision. I get it. I totally feel it. TFT back on market. Nothing's out of the ordinary here. So there you go. Okay, let's get back up to houses near. Oh, I'm not going to be able to show that to you this week. Okay, let's see. Financial intelligence. We're interviewing a guy here pretty quick that helps you with claims. We'll go into that. So if you ever have an insurance claim, your insurance company will have an insurance adjuster come out and tell you how much they're going to give you. It's always better to have somebody come out and check his review, the adjuster's review, come through and argue it for you on their behalf. And I don't know how they pay. We'll find out more about that, but I'm excited to learn more about that. Home valuation, that's for HomeBot. HomeBot's a great little service that gives you a monthly little update of what your house is worth and just lets you keep track of it. That's it. And we have Willow Glen's 5 most expensive houses. All right, that's it. I kept it at 17 minutes. Today we talked about NAR's in trouble, California housing market forecast, and how fast available home inventory is climbing. That's across the United States. Nothing really to worry about yet, other than rates are high, expectedly. I don't know how sustainable that rate is going to be. And the idea is next year rates will come down, but we'll find out. All right, that's it. I'm Vito with Avatano. We'll see you out there.